Mathematik und Deutsch waren meine 3 gutesten Fächer. Oh Mann, das ist nicht lustig.
Today I'm going to ask you to write about your school. Some of the things that we've been learning some of the types of school. So, for example, the fact that Beacon is a Gesamtschule. We've learned words like it's for girls and boys, it's mixed. So that's the kind of vocabulary you can start off by using. Maybe you can remember to use seit to say how long you have been attending this school. Remember, seit is always used with the present tense. As a time phrase, it's going to appear near the beginning of your sentence. We've also been learning lots of adjectives, so I'm looking for some adjectives in this piece of work. In particular, perhaps you can assign your adjectives to the school buildings, or indeed your opinions of teachers or fellow pupils. In addition, it's quite nice if you can think about some of the vocabulary that you're using or the way you are using it. We should be looking for some word order 1. Remember, word order 1 is going to follow denn, which means because, aber, und, and oder, as well as being the normal word order used at the beginning of a sentence. For example, ich finde. I'm going to be looking for some word order 2. Perhaps you can think about how you can turn some of your sentences around. So rather than saying, es gibt eine Kantine im Erdgeschoss, perhaps you can switch that round to say, im Erdgeschoss gibt es eine Kantine. So word order 2. So that's where we're looking for something and then followed by the verb, followed by the pronoun. Thirdly, try at least one word order 3. The word order 3 you should know so far are weil, das. You might also know how to use obwohl, wenn, or even während. Try at least one. Please excuse my handwriting. Obviously I'm writing this straight onto a tablet. Okay, I'm going to say, let me think, to start off what I want to write about, I'm going to say welcome to my school. It was in one of the texts we looked at this week. So, willkommen in Meine Schule. Nice introduction to a piece of writing. The next thing I want to do is I want to say I go to Beacon or I go to a comprehensive, because that's one of the pieces of vocab I want to use. So I don't say I go to a comprehensive. What verb do we use? Correct. We say ich besuche. Now I want to say actually I've been going to my comprehensive for 3 years. And because it's a time phrase, and remember seit takes the present tense, which I've already got with ich besuche, because it's a time phrase I need it fairly near the beginning of my sentence. Ich besuche seit 3 Jahren. Now we could follow it up with die Beacon Academy or eine Schule, but I'm going to say eine gemischte Gesamtschule. Now I'm going to follow it up with what's called a relative clause, which is called Beacon. And to do that, I have to watch out here for the gender of what I'm going to refer to. So it's die, Beacon heißt. Beacon heißt. Okay. So, willkommen in meiner Schule. Ich besuche seit 3 Jahren eine gemischte Gesamtschule, die Beacon heißt. In this particular relative clause, or in most relative clauses, in fact all relative clauses, you must make sure you put your verb at the end. Now I want to say I am in year 11. So that is, ich bin in der, no, I'm not in year 11, I'm in year 10. Ich bin in der 10. Klasse. Now, that's just a little bit boring, that sentence, so let's have a think about how I could make it a bit more interesting. I could say, at the moment, I'm in year 10. At the moment in German is im Moment, and I'm going to actually link it to my previous sentence. So, at the moment, und im Moment. I am in year 10 and we're needing word order 2 because we've put a time phrase at the beginning. Und im Moment bin ich in der 10. Klasse. Okay. Now I want to say how old the children are that attend Beacon. We have 2 sites, so I'm actually going to include the ages for both sites. So I'm going to say, die Schule ist, that's for boys and girls, für Jungen und Mädchen. Now, from and to is von und bis. Okay, and so we're going to say von 11 bis 18 Jahren. Okay, so I've included my 2 sites. Right, I'm talking about the fact that there are girls and boys. What about giving an opinion on them? So actually I'm going to link this up and I'm going to say, und ich finde, now I want to say most pupils are friendly. So, die meisten Schüler sind freundlich. However, I'm actually going to use, instead of ich finde die meisten Schüler freundlich, I'm going to put ich finde das. Now, das, as we know, sends the verb to the end. Die meisten Schüler freundlich sind. Umlaut. Sind. There we go. So my verb is at the end because I use das. Okay, so word order 3. Now, we do have 2 sites, so I'm going to mention that. Now, I've just checked in the dictionary. The plural of Gelände, das Gelände, or das Schulgelände is das Schulgelände, so you don't add an N like you would for many nouns ending in E. So I'm going to say my school has 2 school grounds or 2 school sites. In fact, I'm not going to say mine, I'm going to say our. Now remember, our is unsere. So our school, unsere Schule hat 2 Gelände. And there's my 2 sites. Okay, and I'm going to say that Beach's site is main site. Okay, so I think I may as well use an und. On Beaches ist das Hauptgelände. Okay, so that one is done. Okay, so I'm going to continue my paragraph on the second slide. Right now I think I've talked about beaches being the main site. Now perhaps I'm going to say that it's very big and maybe start talking about some of the buildings, and I can use that buildings vocabulary. So beaches ist sehr groß, and it has lots of classrooms, and it has das Schulgelände. It's das Schulgelände, so I'm going to use the pronoun es. If I was talking about the school and I want to say she is big, I would say sie ist groß because Schule is feminine, but I'm going to use es because we're talking about das Schulgelände. So Beaches ist sehr groß und es gibt, I could use mehrere, many Klassenzimmer, or I could say es gibt über 40 Klassenzimmer. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put a full stop here because I've thought of a way of introducing a past tense by saying that I went to primary school and it was very small. Now, to say previously or earlier in German, you just say früher. Früher. I was at. So I was is ich war, but this again is going to need me to use word order 2. So früher war ich. And I don't know, let's think of a small school, oh well, I can't think of a small school with would do with Firma and Firma Schule, and I'm going to say it was much smaller. And this time, of course, I'm going to use sie because I'm talking about the school. Sie war. Now, smaller, I've got to use comparative adjective. So klein becomes kleiner. So I'm going to put kleiner, but I'm going to put it was much smaller with an exclamation mark. Much in this instance is viel kleiner. Right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about where the rooms are. So I'm going to use some vocabulary we looked at today. Im Erdgeschoss, so on the ground floor. I'm just going to pick a couple of things. There's no need to go to town. I'm going to say there is an old or a dirty classroom. So im Erdgeschoss gibt es ein dreckiges, yeah, filthy, why not? Ein dreckiges, just choose any subject, I don't know, Geschichte, Klassenzimmer. I'm going to fit Klassenzimmer in here, Klassenzimmer. And I'll do one more, and a large drama room. Well, let's think. Drama room is masculine, so it's going to be einen. And remember, I've got to add to my adjective en, einen großen Dramasaal. Look in the line above, and you'll see that where I put Klassenzimmer, it's das Klassenzimmer. So my ending there is es, and I have put ein. Okay. Let me say something else. I perhaps can say something about the tower block. I've already used down on the ground floor, but actually the canteen is also on the ground floor. So I'm going to say downstairs in the tower block. So downstairs is unten im Tower block. I can't say block, can I? Although you can say der Wohnblock. I'm going to say tower building. I mean, that's its name, so I don't think I will change that. I could write Turm, but it would sound a bit funny. Im Towergebäude. So im Towergebäude. The tower block. What could I say next? I'm going to use the word ist. Now, ist takes the nominative in German, which means that something masculine is going to be ein, but we actually don't need to worry too much about that because I'm going to use something feminine, and I'm going to say ist eine Kantine. So downstairs in the tower block ist eine Kantine. Okay, this is actually word order 2. Okay, because I've got the where and then I've got my verb. Okay, then I've got my subject. Okay, so unten im Towergebäude ist eine Kantine, and again I'm going to use another relative clause saying which is very busy. So the which is going to be die, sehr. I'll use sehr, I could use besonders, I could use total, recht, extrem. Actually, I'm going to use hectic. Hektisch ist. Okay. So there's my relative clause, my relative pronoun, my verb at the end. And now I want to say there, I eat every day, or I eat every day there. But I'm going to start with there. Dort, we've learnt that as well over the last 2 weeks. So dort esse ich jeden Tag mit meinen Freunden, or Freundinnen if you've got girlfriends. Okay. Because I'm learning German, I'm just going to say where my German room is, just so I use a different piece of vocabulary and a different word order. So mein Deutschklassenzimmer, different word order, ist im ersten Stock. Ist. Can I use something better than ist? Rubber wasn't working on this machine earlier. Let's see if it will now. Can I get rid of ist? Oh yes, I can. Good. I could use liegt. That's slightly better because I used ist somewhere else. Okay, mein Deutschklassenzimmer liegt im ersten Stock. And it's quite near Miss Robinson's office, so I'm going to pop that in as well. Next to, now this word, neben, takes what we call the dative. I'm going to put dem, Büro, der Schulleiterin. Leiterin. So she's the school leader, she's feminine, so she needs an IN on the end. I'm just going to say something about her, just to extend my vocabulary. So I'm going to say she's called Mrs. Robinson, Miss Robinson. So sie heißt Frau Robinson. Frau Robinson. And I'll give her an opinion of her. Und ist sehr streng. Do you notice I haven't repeated the Z? Because you don't need to in English, you probably wouldn't in German. She's called Miss Robinson and is very strict. I'm just going to pop an opinion word in here. Notice that my opinion word is in word order too. Interesting that, isn't it? Because I've said, und ist sehr streng, finde ich. Okay, I'm going to comment just very quickly on the teachers. In general, some of you may have learnt that last year. In general is im Allgemeinen. So I could start my sentence off with im Allgemeinen, then put my verb. I'm actually going to do another finde ich, I think, just to show you here how I can use finde ich like this. Die Lehrer, finde ich. We can't do this in English, but you can in German, and it looks really good. Die Lehrer finde ich im Allgemeinen. That's what I'm going to put in general. Im Allgemeinen. Sehr nett, because they are nice. Let's use another adjective that's perhaps a little bit more complicated. What about helpful or patient? Und hilfsbereit. Right. And we also learnt some infinitive clauses, so let's pop those in. Because they help us. Well, we know that unser is our, or unsere if it's feminine, but they help us. So they help. Let's start off with sie helfen. What was us? It was uns, wasn't it? Denn sie helfen uns, comma. We're going to put an infinitive clause in here, so it's going to have a zu. Zu lernen und gute Noten zu bekommen. Notice that I have put a zu in front of both the infinitives that I use. The other thing that actually is worth noting here is I've used a coordinating conjunction den, which is followed by word order 1. Had I used weil, I would have said weil, sie. Then I would have to put my verb to the end. This is my main verb. This is the verb that the sentence is, belongs to the pronoun they. They help. So it would have been weil sie uns helfen, comma, zu lernen und gute Noten zu bekommen. Right, I'm going to shove in a little future tense because it looks good. And I'm going to say hopefully I'll get good grades next year. So let's use the word for hopefully. You can look that up in the dictionary. Hoffentlich. Now I will in German is you use the verb werden, which as you know is to become. Hoffentlich werde ich, word order 2 because I've put hoffentlich in. Hoffentlich werde ich nächstes Jahr, time phrase near the beginning again please, really good grades, sehr, recht, total, whatever you like, sehr gute Noten bekommen. Okay, and as I said, the strength of a piece of work is really down to the grammar that you use or what you demonstrate or even what you attempt sometimes. So it's worth attempting more complex stuff. On the next side, I will paste the whole text. So it is neat and the spellings are correct. So if you want to use any of the spellings in your own work, you may. Please try and make the work your own. You can use some of the ideas in this video to help you. Tschüss!
Willkommen in meine Schule. Ich besuche seit 3 Jahren eine gemischte Gesamtschule, die Beacon heißt. und im Moment bin ich in der 10. Klasse. Die Schule ist für Jungen und Mädchen von 11 bis 18 Jahren und ich denke, dass die meisten Schüler freundlich sind. Unsere Schule hat 2 Schulgeländer und Beaches ist das Hauptgelände. Beaches ist sehr groß und hat über 40 Klassenzimmer. Früher war ich an der Fernschule und sie war viel kleiner. Im Erdgeschoss gibt es ein dreckiges Geschichte-Klassenzimmer und einen großen Dramesaal. Unten im Towergebäude ist eine riesige Kantine, die oft sehr hektisch ist. Dort esse ich jeden Tag mit meinen Freunden. Mein Deutschklassenzimmer ist oder liegt oder befindet sich im 1. Stock neben dem Büro der Schulleiterin. Sie heißt Frau Robinson und ist sehr streng, finde ich. Die Lehrer finde ich im Allgemeinen sehr nett und hilfsbereit, denn sie helfen uns zu lernen und gute Noten zu bekommen. Hoffentlich werde ich nächstes Jahr sehr gute Noten bekommen. Vermisse meinen grünen Marker. Bitte so schnell wie möglich zurückbringen. Nein! Oh, er hat mit grünem Marker Nein geschrieben. Lehrer sind Menschen, die uns helfen, Probleme zu beseitigen, die wir ohne sie gar nicht hätten. Das ist ja interessant.